Welcome back. This is Brighter Morning with Bo, and I'm Bo Tiwari, your host of the show. And we are on MCTV, Multicultural TV, in Trinidad and Tobago and the entire region on several channels and through several available options for watching. My guest is Sigler Jack, the chairman of the Gov't Corporation, and let's talk with him a little bit this morning. What's the problem? We had him on the video line just now, but we've lost him. Can we get him? I don't know if there's a Wi-Fi problem on his side. Sometimes that's the problem when there's not enough. He's on? Let's get him on. Hi, Mr. Jack, how are you?
Yes.
Let's get the volume up now.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Jack, how are you?
Morning, Dr. Tiwari. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
All right. We're going to talk about local government this morning, and I wonder if you can share with us what is your experience of local government, not necessarily as a chairman, but being a local government councillor and representative of the people.
Yes, Dr. Tiwari. My status is that alderman, and I've been involved with the corporation for the last 6 years. In terms of my relationship with the government, my line ministry, etc., under the present conditions, it has been very good. And when I say very good, I repeat, under the conditions. Because I think the country knows that we are in a serious financial situation and we cannot necessarily get all the things that we need. Like, for instance, our development program for 21-22 is $13.3 million, and the current expenditure is $1.2 million. That is way below what the corporation has been accustomed to.
How much do you have for development expenditure?
Development expenditure 13.3. Development expenditure 3.
All right. Look, we have a problem with the sound and the video and everything. We're going to take a break and come back, see if we can get it solved.
Welcome to Lifetime Solutions, where you can trust your roof to us. Our services include custom fabrication, steel framing, roofing installation, on-site roll forming, roofing maintenance and services. Call 223-ROOF or 223-7663 for a quote today, or visit our website www.lifetimesolutions.tt.com. Lifetime Solutions. You can trust your roof to us. Call 223-ROOF or 223-7663 for a quote today, or visit our website www.lifetimesolutionstt.com.
Welcome back to Brighter Morning with Bo. I am Bo Tiwari, and we're talking to Sigler Jack, the chairman of the Gov't Corporation. I hope everything is better this time. Can you explain to the population that is viewing and listening, what are the areas that you cover in the Diego Martin Corporation?
Yes, our areas cover from Monas Island on the furthest region. We go along the southern coast of Diego Martin, which would involve parts of Caranas going down to Westmoreland all the way down to Sagaramas. On the north, we are covered, of course, by the northern range, all the way into Pyramid, as far as Hayland Park and those regions. We are divided really in three. What we call the Marval region, the Diego Martin region, and the Sagaramas Point Commander.
Yeah, and how many people are we talking about, and how many communities, and what square mile area we are talking about?
Our population is about more than 3 times more than the Diego. The actual electoral numbers are 90,000 plus, a little over 90,000, and I think we have very close to about 60,000 people otherwise. So we have quite a dense population in this area. We also have one of the most densely populated, what we'll call building stock in this area. And I want to refer to that later on.
Okay.
When you get to that point about the local government reform.
Yes. And how many communities you're talking about? You have 3 regions, Marval, Diego Martin, and Sagaramas. But how many communities?
All right. Let me refer to them not as communities, but 10 districts where we have 10 councillors representing these districts.
Okay.
It is easier to define that way.
All right. And each councillor represents about how many people?
Well, if you subdivide it equally among the 10, I would say give or take about 16,000.
Okay. All right. So that's a good deal. You're talking about 160,000 people really that you are catering for, which is quite large really.
Our population is very large. Let me just say this. In the early 60s, Diego Martin was not very well populated. With the advent of Diamond Vale and the opening up of the economy, especially in the boom years, people moved into the Diego Martin in a big way, and a number of large developments took place, including places like Westmoreland, which is very well known. Diamond Vale was the first, and it continues to grow as we speak.
Yeah, I remember the Diamond Vale contribution by the then government, and it was a major area in which large numbers of public servants and other people who were involved in various activities moved, and that began what you might call the repopulation of that area. Diego Martin is a very beautiful area because of the hills, the mountains, you have the ocean on the other side. Pity Valley falls under you too, no?
Pity Valley also is part of it.
Yes.
This is what we may call the central community.
Yes, and that is a very beautiful area with a lot of resources too. You have Blue Basin, you have a number of things there. Very, very important assets. Now, do you think your population, your citizens, your burgesses are satisfied with your representation, and why are they satisfied?
Okay, let me say that we have a very patient population. Meaning, one, I think they understand because of the scarcity of resources, we cannot deliver at the rate and the pace at which we ourselves would like to deliver. And may I say that my corporation consists of 10 councillors and 4 aldermen. One of those aldermen belong to the UNC opposition. And among my councillors, the majority are women. I think we have about 9 women. And I say that to say that the passion that comes out of these 9 female councillors in particular is one where, I doubt it can be measured. They have the passion to serve, and they have been out there with their burgesses, talking to them, trying to get them to get an understanding of our situation. In terms of our delivery, we work mainly with stakeholders of government services, in particular the Ministry of Works, the Ministry of Public Utilities. Those are the 2 main ones. But we have a number of other agencies. I think we work with about 15 or 16 agencies who we meet with on a monthly basis. And as such, our problems that we take to them, which is to be addressed based on what comes from not only our burgesses or what we ourselves pick up, they try to address them as much as possible. I want to say things like highways, main water streams. Yes, they fall in our district, but we do not have the financial resources to deal with those things, so they are dealt with by the Ministry of Works. I say this only to say, based on local government reform, because we are so densely populated and have one of the best housing stock in the country, local government reform will serve us very well in terms of the collection of property tax, thereby putting us in a better position to serve our burgesses.
All right, but the Gov't Corporation is one of those corporations that I know the Prime Minister has spoken about for potential borrowership. That's to say, you will become a borough. What do you think about that, and what does that transition involve?
Okay. I listened to the Parliament day last week, and the bill is actually tabled in the Parliament for debate. And not only just the Gov't, also the Siparia Corporation.
Siparia
those
too,
are the
yes.
2 places.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean for us? First of all, let me say that the Gov't qualifies to be a borough. We, as a region, as it is right now, we have more to show that we should be a borough than maybe all the other boroughs that exist. That is, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you,
Yes. I
Yes.
thought I'd lost you there for a minute. Sorry about that. That is to say that we have a seat of commerce. We have an army base here. We have the Coast Guard base here, which other people don't have. We have a seaport area, right? We have very good housing stock. We have highways. We have cutting-edge clinics. I don't want to call them hospitals, but the health facilities in the Gov't are top of the line. We have top of the line sporting facilities. We have a well laid out infrastructure, and I could go on and on. Added to which, we are predominantly, in the past, the Gov't used to be an agricultural food basin, which spans from Paramin into the Gov't Valley, especially in the Covine Road area. Then we have the Sagaramas Valley, which was partly destroyed by your administration, and so on. Our fisheries and fishing stock in this area is very big. Our fishermen export certain types of fish, in particular the red snapper. One of the things I am looking forward to is to get a food processing plant in the Sagaramas region because of all these things I just spoke about. We need a food processing plant to assist our farmers, fisher folk, and other people.
All right. I just want to correct one thing that you said about the Sagaramas being destroyed by our administration. I wanted to make it clear that 100 acres of land was leased to the Ministry of Agriculture, and they still possess that land. That 100 acres of land was leased to a private sector entity, which was then renegotiated by this government and reduced, I think, to 60 acres. And they are in production in Sagaramas. So if it is agriculture that you're talking about, I don't think that it was destroyed. I think it was enhanced. But other things were being done to Sagaramas as well. So you want
to... Now, if I may say something about Sagaramas.
Yeah.
Now, what you just said there, the Sagaramas farmers will not agree with you, because I have been talking to these people for a long time. As a matter of fact, they talk to me online, one individual in particular. Now, what I am very disappointed with, no, because we have this borrow status, it would put us in a very awkward situation. What was done in terms of the development of Sagaramas, and I'm going to say it again, under your administration then, was not organized. Sagaramas is such a beautiful piece of real estate, that Sagaramas Valley, that it should have been on the drawing board with some powerful thinking heads to develop that area into a really pristine part of Trinidad and Tobago. Something that could have attracted everything, including tourism, including ecotourism, and a number of other good things that would have brought not only Trinidadians to that area, but also people from abroad. It could have been a showpiece for Trinidad and Tobago. But what went on there, as far as I'm concerned, was land grabbing.
That what you are saying there, Mr. Jack, I'm sorry you're going down that road. I will give you the freedom to speak, but I also take the freedom to speak as well. During the period that we were there, we did a plan for Sagaramas that was a very, very sustainable and conservationist plan. Less than 10% of Sagaramas was identified for development, and the rest of Sagaramas was really to be like a beautiful garden, a sustainable area in which the people could enjoy. We built the boardwalk that has since been destroyed. We put in security in Sagaramas that has since been destroyed. And we had made attempts to get the tenants to pay reasonable rates and to have investment there. That is why you have the Five Islands facility there now, because that was done under our administration. There are other things that I could talk about, and you have to decide whether you're going down the road to talk about Sagaramas or you're going to talk accountably about your cooperation in Digomartin. I give you the choice.
Yeah, I will talk about the cooperation, but I want to end on the Sagaramas thing by saying a number of things you just said there I am not in agreement with.
What you're not in agreement with?
To talk about, so I would like us to move on to my cooperation.
Well, we can move on, but what I just said there is the truth. I am not able to deal with
security and all that. Security is very much in place. And putting that Five Island thing there, I don't see that as a number one priority to start off a project. And I will also say that the boardwalk is not destroyed. It is still and very solid.
All right. Well, you have your opinion, but I have
not
facts.
An opinion, it's a fact.
I have given facts. and I'm sorry that you went along that road, but I would like to know what you are doing in Diego Martin that should earn the right of your corporation and you as chairman to be returned in Diego Martin.
Right. The borough status in terms of local government reform, all that coming together, we would really like to move towards a development plan. I shouldn't even be saying this because the Gov't region is developing under our eyes, especially in the last 6 years. The amount of developmental things that have taken place and are continuing to take place says it all about where, and I'm saying this not just as a corporation, but in terms of our representation in the Diego Martin region. We are moving together in terms of the development of Diego Martin as a region, and I hope soon to become a borough. And there are a number of things that are happening.
But what are you going to...
modern community centers. We have built modern health facilities. We have built a brand new stadium. Our road work, although it needs a little sprucing up at this time, our road work is being managed and expanded with the new interchange that is going to allow easy in and out flow of Diego Martin. We have the West Park that is under construction as we speak, where we're going to have recreation. We'll have a museum, and of course, as I mentioned, the interchange, and the new headquarters of the Diego Martin Regional Corporation. We are working towards the better distribution of water. As it is right now, we have a good water stock. However, our machinery and equipment, as it relates to water from time to time, we have issues with that. But we are working towards developing that into a better state of condition with the Ministry of Public Utilities. The disposal of garbage is under control with the exception. We have little hiccups here and there with our contractors. And the problem there is not with the Diego Martin Regional Corporation per se. We have some issues that we are trying to work out with the contractors who pick up our garbage. We met with them about a month ago to try to tighten up on these things, and we are hoping that something good will come out of that. At Christmas time, we do a little special cleaning up. We are working on all these things to keep our region clean at all times.
All right, we will continue the discussion after this break. This is Brighter Morning with Bo. You are listening to the conversation between myself and Sigler Jack, the chairman of Diego Martin Corporation, and we'll continue that discussion after the break.
Welcome to Lifetime Solutions, where you can trust your roof to us. Our services include custom fabrication, steel framing, roofing installation, on-site roll forming, roofing maintenance and services. Call 223-ROOF or 223-7663 for a quote today, or visit our website www.lifetimesolutionst.com. Lifetime Solutions. You can trust your roof to us. Call 223-ROOF or 223-7663 for a quote today, or visit our website www.lifetimesolutionstt.com.
As businesses adapt to the new normal, let Magic Mist take care of your cleaning and sanitization needs with our COVID-19 BSCAI internationally certified technicians. With over 43 years of protecting the health of our nation, you can trust us to ensure your building remains safe, healthy, and functional. Give us a call today at 638-6675 or 332-5522. Magic Mist Services Limited, your total facilities management solutions provider.
Welcome back. This is Brighter Morning with Bo, and I am Bo Tiwari, and we're talking to Sigler Jack, the chairman of the Gov't Corporation. You were talking about borough status, and you're talking about the current situation. What are the things that you are not able to do now that you will be able to do as a borough?
Yes, you broke off there for a bit, but I think I got what you wanted to say or what you were saying. Okay. One of the things we would like to do really is to improve our drainage stock. Drainage in the Gov't has always been an issue because of the mountainous terrain we have, which was pouring a whole lot of water down onto the flat area. This year, we had a situation where we had an excessive amount of rainfall. And that area that you are showing there, that would be on the Marval Road, which brings me exactly to the point I am talking about. Those water, that level of rainfall is very unusual. And it went on for a prolonged period. At this point, if I may interject, I want to say thanks to my fellow corporation for the assistance they gave us in helping us alleviate that problem, along with the Ministry of Works, and of course with the strength of my disaster management unit, which I have all praise for. Now, that drainage stock we are talking about would be dependent on where we have real estate to open up major drain courses. Added to which, we have one major water course coming out through the Gov't that takes the water into the ocean. When the tide is low, the water runs off very quickly. When the tide is high, the water tends to settle. Added to which, we do not have real estate in this region to open up lakes or major ponds to collect water. So therefore, we have to find ways and means of getting the water out as quickly as is possible. Because with climate change that is taking place around the world, I'm sure we are all seeing what is happening and likely to get worse. So that is one thing I would like to address. I would also like to address our main roads. We have a few of them that are in a state of, I don't want to use it, not as extreme as disrepair, but there are issues with them. I would like to have those really fixed properly. Those are where we are areas we get in area. The water, as I said before, we have a good water stock. The distribution is not where we want it to be. Yeah. And those are the prime areas. I also want to see the development of more agriculture, and in particular, I want to see a food processing plant in this region. Or recreation grounds, we are okay with that.
All right. The flooding that we saw there, yes, it is true that you had excessive rain, and yet it is true that you have climate change problems. That is a worldwide phenomenon, and the increased rains are also a phenomenon that we have to live with. The whole COP26 conference was really about, in part, how countries like us could mitigate some of the effects of climate change and also make adaptations. Now, local government in Diego Martin could hardly deal with that problem and solve it. It has to be solved, I think, by a mixture
at another level.
Yeah, it has to be solved by the Ministry of Works working with you. It has to be solved perhaps with rural development working with you because of the complexity of the Diego Martin area and the agricultural production that you do. But it also has to do with planning laws and rules for the Diego Martin area, which is hilly, and it has to do with quarrying in that particular area. Can you talk a little bit about that and what is happening there?
Right. Let me start with the quarrying first. Well, I think that's where the focus is. Diego Martin used to be a heavily quarried area at one time. Quarrying in Diego Martin has more or less ceased. What we are having, though, are people who are developing on the hillsides. And there has been a lot of indiscriminate cutting. One of the problems we are having is the amount of agencies that developers have to go through before they get permission to develop. And believe it or not, we are the last that they come to, or everybody comes to for approval. You have to go through EMA, of course, depending on where you are operating from or where you're going to cut and that type of thing. And though the rules are laid down with the developers as regards the cutting that should take place, they always go out of bounds. We have a situation like that in the Upper Bonds Road area as we speak, where development is going on there, and we have to be in there every minute to talk to the developers about the problems the people are experiencing down below.
How high is that development up the hill?
It is very high. As a matter of fact, you can stand anywhere from Port of Spain, the foreshore, and it looks at you right at the top going up in that board road. You just cannot miss it. You see a lot of bare earth, and you see some housing stock taking place there.
It's about 600 feet high up there, you think?
Oh, yes, I think it might be more than that, or give or take.
All right.
It's more or less in line with Cumberland Hill.
Do you know that...
would give you an idea.
Since you mentioned it before, do you know that in my time as Minister of Planning, I had established a rule and a law that nobody would be given permission to build above the 300 feet contour? Has that rule been abolished? And is that part of the cause of the problem?
I cannot say, but I will have to research that. I cannot say that I was aware of what you speak, but I will most definitely research that to see how helpful that could be to us. I'm glad I opened this point.
Yeah, you see, in Diego Martin, if you cut the hills, I remember going to see a developer there, and they had a piece of land up on the hills, and all the houses were below. And the land was it wasn't that high, it was about 400 or 500 feet up. But when I looked at the land, if they had cut up that land in order to build houses there, the people down below would have been demolished with water in the rainy season. And I did not approve it. And my technical people advised me not to approve it. And we took a very strong stand on that, because one of the problems is if they quarry high up, they leave the sediment and it comes down with the river. And if they do the development at 500 or 600 feet above the 300 line contour, and they don't make provisions, all the sediment comes down below. And that is a source of the difficulty and the problem. So you have to
normally happen.
You have to work with the Ministry of Planning, you have to work with the Ministry of Works, and you have to work with the EMA and other agencies in order to do that. Okay, I want to thank you for being my guest this morning. I am happy that we had this conversation. I am sorry that you went down the road with Sagaramas without having the correct information. And on the question of the farmers in Sagaramas, I want to make it clear. The CDA board at the time took the farmers to court. The court found in favor of the CDA board. When this government came into office, they re-engaged the farmers and without reference to the court order or taking a different route from the court order, they made other arrangements. Those were the facts of that situation. I want to thank you for being my guest this morning. We'll talk another time if you are available. This is Brighter Morning with Bo, and we sign off now with Andrew Chan for the 8 o'clock news. MCTV, Multicultural TV in Trinidad and Tobago and the region.